After targeting casuals yesterday, the government has announced the second stage of its industrial relations reforms, this time proposing freeing up the rules around part-time employees. Let's go live to political reporter Jonathan Lee in Canberra now. Jonathan, good morning to you. So what's the government's intention here?
Pete, good morning to you. The government's intention here, it says, is to take the handbrake off the economy and create jobs at a time when we certainly need them. Now, this is all part of the government's IR omnibus bill, which it's currently taking to Parliament. And omnibus basically just means there are a lot of parts to this legislation, and it will have to be agreed by Parliament if it's to come into effect or into force. So there's still a long way to go on this. But what the government wants to do is create flexibility. Yesterday it was about casuals. Today it's about part-time employees. In fact, it says it wants to extend flexible part-time arrangements. There's a lot of aspects to this. Let's bring up a quick graphic and show the viewers what the government wants to do here around part-time workers. It says flexible arrangements will only be available if the employee agrees to work the additional hours. The part-time employee is engaged to work at least 16 hours per week. The shift length is at least 3 hours. Total work is less than 38 hours per week, and the normal penalty rates must apply. Now, we heard yesterday from the unions that they were concerned with some of the suggested changes around casualisation. We'll wait to hear what they say today, but there's still a long way to go on this legislation. It's going to be parked. It's going to be talked about in committees, so we're still a long way yet from finding out what's really going to happen when it comes to IR reform.
Meanwhile, Jonathan, we've seen big spending budgets, and now appears our much-loved AAA credit ratings have taken a hit.
Yeah, a big hit, Pete. We've seen the states spend up, we've seen the federal government spend up, and now the chickens are really coming home to roost, aren't they? We're finding out Standard & Poor's overnight has downgraded the credit rating for New South Wales and Victoria. They've lost their AAA. New South Wales has gone to AA+. Victoria slightly worse at AA stable. It's the first time in more than 30 years they've had such a downgrade. The concern, though, now, Pete, is that this might end up happening to the federal government. And when your credit rating is hit, it means you end up having to borrow money at an increased rate. So more expense. We'll wait to find out there.